Welcome everyone to this Puerto Vallarta market update with Paul and Poncho, your real estate agents in this town. And hi Paul, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. How is the week treating you?
The week has been good. So it's Easter Sunday here, isn't it? So it's a relaxing day today. But I've had a good week. I've had a pretty good week. What about you?
That's good. Well, yes, it's been a good week. Enjoying the change of the weather. Been a little bit more warm, but it's something that I really like, and I'm looking forward that everyone that is hearing this podcast and watching this video, well, that they can come and enjoy it.
Yeah. Do you know what I find really interesting about this place is the weather changes in the click of a finger. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
And people told me that, and I didn't believe it. And it was October was just hot, and there was a day at the end of October or on the 1st of November, click of the fingers, and it just changed like this.
Exactly.
And then we've had the most blissful weather, haven't we? All the way from 1st of November all the way, and it was cold, lovely cold, all cool. And then 3 nights ago, I was still sleeping with like track pants in bed, and now in the click of a finger it's all changed. I'm sweating, I'm thinking, oh, where's the fan? And I'm certainly not sleeping with sweatpants. So I just can't get over how it's not a gradual thing often. It's just kind of like you really notice it within a day or two, don't you?
Exactly. It's the same thing happens when from summer to winter, well, technically for autumn to winter, change from one day to other. So it was fantastic. Yeah. It was very pleasant, and I think we were very fortunate that we had this super cool weather just moving into. I mean that it was long enough that we really enjoyed. Now everyone is looking forward to have a very warm tropical and always a good excuse to have a margarita on the beach. You don't think so?
Yeah. I love the cold. I fell in love with Puerto Vallarta much more when I realized that it does get cold.
Yes.
Because it's the opposite, the other side of the really hot, relentless summer.
Yeah. So
go
ahead,
please. Well, I was just going to say we should talk about sort of our aim with this little market update that we're planning to do once a month, really, isn't it? I'll just talk for a minute, and then you can chime in and give me your opinion. But the idea really is because the market constantly changes, and I especially specialize in Canadians and American buyers. You do as well, and those buyers are not here, and they're not on the ground knowing what's going on with the market on a day-to-day basis, and so they're doing all their research from up in America and Canada. They're choosing their agent from up there. They're shortlisting properties from up there, and then they fly in, and we have 2 days to look at properties. Yeah. So this is kind of just a good way for people who are thinking it's time to make the move to buy and live in Puerto Vallarta. They can start doing all that, getting to know the market and getting to know certain things or the rules of buying real estate here. Before they come. So when they come, they don't make mistakes and they can sort of hit the ground running. And at some point in this podcast, I want to talk about what we talked about yesterday, because about new construction and negotiating on new construction. So we can talk about that a little bit later on, but that I think is really important, which I've had 2 people this week learn the hard way about that. So we'll chat about that a little bit later on. But things like that, certain, like if you're buying pre-construction, what you need to know and keep in mind, and then resales are slightly different and things like that. So
yeah, I think also it's very important that people, they get that piece of information. I always believe that information is key and it's powerful, and people that are getting more educated lately about how to buy a property with different sources, a YouTube video, or not even like a blog can be a little bit of misleading, right? But maybe some Facebook groups, or maybe some getting in touch with agents. I don't know. So I think that's great that that we are here to help all these people to make. I always say that let them. I always tell them to let me take them from the hand and help them with the process. And I think it's the same with you, with your experience too, moving from another country, and then tell them the what about the facts, and about, for example, in pre-construction or something that is a resale, and the different areas what they can find, things like that. I think that's fantastic. How are you finding the market, Paul?
I am finding, I mean, I think you'd be in agreement. The market's pretty hot here right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
For Puerto Vallarta, obviously it's not as hot as it is in America. It seems like all my clients who are selling their properties up there are getting well over asking price, and it's, you know, selling in 3 or 4 days. So that's not how it is here, but things are definitely very hot for this market, and things are moving quicker. So that's one thing I'm noticing. But you have to be a little quicker now, don't you? As buyers, you've got to be a little quicker, and there's not as much stock to choose from. It's now, you know, when you maybe October last year, there was maybe 10 to 15 properties in or near the romantic zone in the $250,000 mark. Now there's probably 2, or there's probably 4, but 2 of them you wouldn't want to touch with a barge pole. So that part of the market's really slim at the moment. What I'm also noticing is now post-COVID is people who, you know, work in New York City and earn New York salaries, who don't have to go to work anymore, they work from home, are coming down here, working from home, earning New York salaries and living on Mexican living costs. And they're happy, they're very happy, you know. So that, I think, is fueling the market a little bit here as well.
Yeah, actually, it's very interesting for me because, well, this morning I went to walk with a client and my dogs to downtown, where the Mirador is, the observatory on the city. So this client is from San Francisco, and he has a place over Amapas, Opera Mapas. And I was telling him that the inventory in that area, it's maybe 3 condos right now. I mean, it's a lot of demand there in that area. Well, because you have two cakes in one, I will say that you have the views because you are in an upper part, and also you are close to the romantic zone, that it's one of the hot spots around the bay, and it's very desirable. And also for rentals, I mean, it's pretty cool because also you have Casa Cupola gym close by, or if you want to go to the beach, technically you are like a 3 or 4 blocks walking distance too. It's a very good mix of many things about that. And I totally agree with you about how the inventory is in the romantic zone, for example, one of those hot spots right now. And yeah, things, it's very funny. I have clients that they came here, for example, last year, and they didn't make the decision, and now they are coming back and they want to see that place. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's sold or it's pending. I have this case with my client Penn that obviously he couldn't travel because from COVID, but he saw something on Lower Amapas for $99,000. It was a studio. And he was like, damn, I really wish that I could travel to get, obviously to get a sense into the condominium. As you know, some people that are more visual than others. And yes, it was like the best deal in that area, and went fast, like in a week or a week and a half, more or less. But yes, ours happens that when that a client always wants a place, and then one day for other day, it's gone. So it's nice for them that they are having their piece of paradise. And as you say, that they are people that are learning to work from home, and it's better sometimes to work from in a beautiful place like where we live, with a beautiful view or different weather, fantastic food, delicious tacos. Yeah, many things like that.
So advice, I guess, for for buyers coming here? What do you
The
think?
advice that I can give for buyers, well, it's that that they interview. If they decide to move here, first of all, if it's their first time and they don't know anything about the area, that they get in touch with a real estate agent or a couple of them, that they can just get the feeling and the connection. I'm a truly believer about connections, so I think that's important. Then when they sit with the agent, that they can figure out about if they need financing, how is the financing process works here, and about the pre-construction, that they set the budget, and also that they may take a day that they find by themselves the different areas that they want to be. Romantic zone is totally different than Cinco de Diciembre, or that Cinco de Diciembre is totally different than Versalles or than Sayulita. That the buyers, they take the time to visit those areas, and then they can maybe come with the real estate agent and find out, like, you know what, this is the area that we feel more attached to, and then, as I said, when they find the person to help them to buy the property here, ask all the questions that comes into their mind, all the questions for the trust, which the fideicomiso, the HOAs, everything, the inspection, areas, schools, if there's a school nearby. And I recommend to the buyers too, if they really found a place that they really love, to visit it in a different time. It's always, I found this very interesting, and I give this tip to when I have the buyers in my car and we are ready to make an offer and we ask for a second showing. Sometimes we see the property, let's say at 10 in the morning, and it's totally different ambience if we go and see it at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., 8 p.m. One day I did a showing at 11 p.m. in Gringo Gulch. So it was fantastic that the buyer at the time was able to see the area at night. So that's what I would recommend, and that's why we are here to help them, and to help them to make the dreams come true. What type of advice would you give to a buyer?
Well, it was just interesting. You know, people don't realize that a view of the city and the old town is really as beautiful as the ocean at night, right? With all the different lights and the different tones of the different lights.
Yes.
It's stunning old town to look at. And what people also don't realize is that being on absolute beachfront at night can be a little bit lonely. I'm not putting off beachfront buyers, but can be a little lonely because you're looking out at complete blackness. So advice for buyers, you know, really you've got to get educated as quickly as possible on and be grounded and realistic on your budget and what you're going to buy. Now, if you are, you know, probably I get 4 or 5 inquiries a week wanting to be in the romantic zone, but they're on, you know, it's either $70,000 budget or $150,000 budget or $180,000 budget. And then they don't realize that closing costs are, you know, another 4 to 6% on top of that. So it's about getting educated quickly to know where they should, you know, guiding them where they should be. So if they want to be a new construction, then they're going to really have to go to Versailles. A $160,000 property in the romantic zone is really bad, right? Now, there's not many, there's really, like, if 150, 155, you might be in the great location, but you're going to have no patio, you're going to have no swimming pool, you're going to have very small square footage and no light and all those sort of down things. So people need to realize that that's what their money will buy. And if that's not good enough, then we need to go in a different direction and find a better neighborhood, a different neighborhood, a cheaper neighborhood that will give you the kind of property you want for your price. And then just find that middle ground, because, you know, Ubers are not expensive. So if you're in a neighborhood in Fluvial, but you love going to romantic zone, if you can get the house you want in Fluvial and then take a $5 taxi into the romantic zone for happy hour, then maybe that's the way you need to be going. So it's about, you know, getting the right agent and having that talk back and forward about to really work out the neighborhood. You don't want to be falling in love with a house in an area that you're not going to end up buying. So you really want to try and kind of get as familiar with the different areas and really and prices and really narrow that down as best as you can. And you can do a lot of that online, and you can do a lot of that with your agent, which is why I always say when you're choosing your agent, make sure they're responsive. Because if your agent's not getting back to you while you're asking these questions, if it's you ask that question and then you hear back 3 days later, and then you ask another question you could be spending months researching the market. Whereas another agent could have a phone call and go, boom, answer all the questions one after the other. And give a buyer a good idea. So then when they fly in, we go bang, 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 bang to the 2 or 3 neighborhoods and 6 or 7 properties, and can really narrow in from there.
Exactly. So what type of property do you think we have a lot in this market right now?
Well, I think overall we haven't got a huge amount. We haven't got enough under 300,000 2-bed, 2-bath in the romantic zone. There's a real appetite for that right now. And just overall, like kind of that cool Mexican style condo in Conchas Chinas. They snap up really quickly. And a lot of people want that and to be in that neighborhood. But, there's obviously $2 million mansions in that neighborhood as well. And not everyone can afford that, but they want that neighborhood with all that lovely character, but on a budget that is, realistic, that they can live there for. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh no, well, about the type of properties, I think that for what I've been doing my research on the stats of the month, I found that we're still selling more condos. For example, because I did a comparison between last year to this year, and it was for March last year to March this year, even that we are in April doing this, it was pretty interesting that we have around 41% more sales of condominiums than last year. And I thought that maybe we will have more houses sold than last year. So it was like a very funny turnout. So we sold more condos this year than last March, and less homes than last year too. So it's pretty good. And actually, and I get that people, if they may want to have an easy life or easy way how to deal with their property outside of their country, that they can just close everything and they can just go back to the States or Canada or Europe, I don't know. And then when they come back, well, they can just open everything and easy to maintain. So it's pretty interesting. And also the areas that they are exploring, that they have a lot of potential. Bucerias, for example. I mean, it's not just the golden area or the famous Zona Dorada. The thing that it's behind the highway, behind the 200, are things that are getting developed there, that it's more traditional family or more traditional architecture too. That is kind of part of the charm, just still close to the beach too. So it's I found it like very, very, very interesting and very it's enjoyable to know that are people that they keep considering Puerto Vallarta as their destination, or Rivera Nayarit as their destination that they select, more than other ones than Playa del Carmen or Cabo, so that we have people excited about this, besides that, what we have to offer to. Okay. And hot property pick from Paul and Poncho. You go first. Okay.
From me, there's a nice new construction, Oporto, going in at the moment. They've broken ground. that's kind of exciting. It's going to be a sexy building. It's in Cinco de Diciembre. That neighborhood's really coming up. You can get a 2-bed, 2-bath for about 238,000. It's about 2 years away from being constructed, and you're 3 blocks from the beach, maybe 4. So it's going to be a good renter, but that neighborhood is just it's if you're priced out of the romantic zone, that's the next one to go to, right? And then if you're priced out of that neighborhood, then you go to Versailles, unless you prefer what Versailles has to offer, because there is a different vibe in both of those neighborhoods. But that for me, Porto, I think that's kind of a cool building.
Okay, and well, I want to
you?
tell you mine. It's one that is
Please.
located in Conchas Chinas that I think it's the best deal in Conchas Chinas area. I think you had the opportunity to show it. It's in Condo Carla, the 1-bedroom condo that it's available there. Honestly, if someone is looking something less than 200,000 with fantastic, amazing ocean view, that's the place. It's
Absolutely.
the building is super well built, very well constructed. It's one of the first buildings that has been built in Conchas Chinas. You are close to the romantic zone, close to downtown, close to Mismaloya, very quiet. And just that you know, Conchas Chinas, it's been considered as the Beverly Hills of Puerto Vallarta. I think like the Hollywood Hills of Puerto Vallarta. But that place in specific, the layout, I think it's great. It's from on the street level, and then you can get into the unit very easy. As I said, you have nice ocean view, and also the terrace. It's fantastic. It's a pet friendly building too. Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite listings right now for the possibilities that you can do. For if you want to do a small fixer upper, that will be a good thing, a good value, a good rental possibility too. Yeah, I really like that one.
I agree. I've shown that property a lot, and it's a little bit dated. It needs a little bit of a lift, but that massive patio, and right overlooking the swimming pool and then the ocean,
Exactly.
and it would be a great rental. That building has low HOA fees. Although it's older, it has all the Mexican character of Conchas Chinas and everything that we love. Low HOA fees, well looked after considering it's an older building, and the price.
Yeah, it's 170.
I think it's list for 175, 179, something like that. I keep going. That's the property that I'm going to buy. That I would buy.
If I
was in a position to buy, if someone gave me 180,000 or 200,000, that would be to go and buy whatever you want. That's the property I'd buy in a heartbeat.
And actually, that just people need to keep in mind that the price of any fixer-upper of construction is like a third of what it's in home. So that is good. I mean, if to renovate a place costs you $10,000, over here will cost you a third of doing that between the finishes that are available in the area too, furniture and labor too. It's pretty affordable here. So I think that's great.
And what people don't realize about this particular property we're talking about, Condo Carla number 9, is that building is, because I had a client very interested in it, he changed his mind for different reasons, but it's a 12-minute walk to Mantamar. And so Conchas Chinas is further away, but where it is located in Conchas Chinas is actually very close to downtown. So you can walk to what I think is one of the best beaches in Puerto Vallarta, Conchas Chinas Beach. So you just walk down the hill to there, or you can walk into town. And Mantamar, that part of the romantic zone, is about a 12-minute walk. To Mantamar, and you've got to be a good walker. But 12 minutes is not bad, really. And if you're out for dinner at night, you can either walk home or you can get an Uber home.
Yeah.
But so location-wise, it's not bad.
I think that's
and they don't come along that often. There's not
Nope.
many options, right? At that budget. Yeah.
So
Sorry.
how the audience that is hearing this can find you and how they can find me. So first you.
Okay. You can go to my website, www.paultrimmer.com, PaulTrimmer. And then there's lots of stuff there. Join my newsletter, and you'll get from my newsletter new listings, articles, information on buying real estate here. Just lots of stuff. So that's go to my website. And then there's links to my Instagram and Facebook and all of that.
That's good. And well, they can find me on the www.ponchodavalos.com. And if you want to take a look into the listings, into the Flex ID, MLS, that if you want to find your property, your dream property, well, it's over there. You have access into that. Actually, yes, I'm social. And then you can find me on Instagram or on Facebook too. The links are over there. And also, I want to add something. It's important, I think, for us that people know that agents here, we work in cooperation and together. I mean, if it's one of my listings and then you have a client, well, we work together, or vice versa, or you with another agent or something. I think it's important that people know that they don't need to visit all the listing agents in town if they look for their property in my website or your website or on our social media, things like that. And sometimes people, they may think that they will get a better deal, but the deal is the same thing. I mean, it doesn't matter who represents you, but I will recommend that that people, well, besides that they choose an agent, that they know and they are aware about it, that we work together, we work in cooperation. In the end of the day, to make your dream come true, to have your investment property in town or live your life here, and that you can invite us for a margarita or a taco, who knows?
Exactly. And you want an agent that's part of AMPI as well, yes, because AMPI agents work with integrity, and it's not a license, but you have to go through the steps to be a part of it, and your agent is more likely to be the same sort of agent that you'd get in America, or a licensed agent. That's, I think, important, because what people don't realize is that anyone can sell real estate here. So your taxi driver can sell real estate as well. So you do want to make sure you're in good hands, because there are properties that you, as a buyer or as an international buyer, you don't want to be getting involved in, right? So you do want to make sure you trust your agent to send you in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. So is something else that you want to ask, Mr. Paul?
No, but for anyone who's listening, I think if they have questions or want us to chat about a specific topic or questions, they should let us know, and we'll talk about it in the next show. So, this is an open book. We both work for different agencies, so there's kind of like we're gonna have to we'll be honest, because we're two different agents. So it's not like we're getting together and we're in the same agency and we're trying to manipulate buyers to believe a certain thing. No, not at all. We're just here wanting to help people, and we're real estate agents. We're all about helping people and guiding them through the process of buying and selling real estate. Exactly. And so if they have questions, because the market does work differently here, if you have questions about new construction or the process of buying or just whatever, please let us know, and we'll talk about it on this podcast.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Paul. And thank you everyone for hearing this podcast, and stay tuned for more information, for more of us next month. And yeah, that's fantastic.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Bye.